Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I got in another reflex style red dot to take a look at. This is coming from CVLIFE and the model is the WolfCloak X01. This red dot is very budget friendly, so stick around if you want to learn more about it. We'll do a real quick unboxing. We'll go over all the features and specifications. We'll get it mounted to something, get out to the range, test it out, and then give some thoughts on it. So as you can see, it does come in this hard-sided case here. Actually a pretty decent little case for it. Let's get it open up and see what all comes with it. So it looks like we do have a user manual here. Lots of illustrations. A lens cleaning cloth. Looks like some type of tools to figure out what they're all for. Looks like there's like 3 different types of wrenches there, and then that one. We have some type of adapter plate here. It looks like another plate. Some screws. I'll show you all the different sizes they include. Couple of batteries. And then we have the dot itself, which does come with the cover, and there is a Picatinny plate there as well. So they include 6 different sets of screws, and they are all clearly marked with the screw sizes. Show you those quickly. So here is the CVLIFE WolfCloak X01. It's made out of some type of aluminum, then with a black anodization on it. This is an RMR red dot, and the one adapter plate that's included here is actually for a Glock. So if you have the MOS system on your Glock, you can put this down and then this RMR will mount to that. And the other thing that I thought was a different type of adapter plate is actually like a shim that's going to go underneath this. So basically, once we put our battery in, we're going to take one of these and place over top of the battery. They claim that like reduces any type of like static electricity, and then this shim will go on here to basically protect the battery before you mount it to your gun. Grab you guys some quick dimensions on it. We're looking at about 1.77 in length, 1.09 in width, and then a total height of 0.9. Total weight, less than an ounce, probably right around an ounce with the battery. So the X01 has a 3 MOA dot. It comes with the motion awake or shake awake technology. It's got 12 different brightness settings with it. It has a waterproof rating of IPX6, has this multi-coated lens on it, and then also has a recoil rating of 1200 Gs. Quickly show you around the dot itself. You can increase the brightness here with the plus sign, decrease the brightness on this side with the minus sign. You can actually turn the dot on or off with either button as well. I'll show you that. But like I said, it does have the motion awake, so you technically don't have to. We're going to have our elevation adjustment up here and our windage adjustment over here. That does have a large viewing window. That's a 24 millimeter. And then this shroud up here is actually really thick. And then the battery is going to go underneath. Let's go ahead and pop a battery in it, and then we'll check it out and see what everything looks like. All right, battery's in it. Again, we can just basically tap either button here to turn that on. I have no idea what brightness level we're on right now, so I'm going to run basically all the way up through it here a bunch of times. Again, we have 12 total. I don't see it getting any brighter from there, so let's kind of go down through it now. So we should be on 12, that's 11, that's 8, it's 5, that's 2 and 1, so it should not get any dimmer than that. and it doesn't. So even at 1, you can still see that pretty well. Come back up through them one more time. That actually looks to be a really nice dot. I don't really see like a lot of like a star pattern or bursting or anything like that. That's pretty crisp and clean. To turn it off, just press either button for like 2 to 3 seconds and then it'll shut off. But again, you can basically leave that on. If your gun is in a holster, if it's sitting on your nightstand or whatever, after about 4 minutes, it will power itself down. And then with any type of movement at all, like you're pulling your gun out of the holster, you're lifting it off that nightstand, whatever it might be, it will automatically come back on, and it'll be on at the same brightness that you basically set it down at. So if you're on level 7, it will come back on level 7. Just kind of looking through this here at the table, this is actually some of the clearest glass that I have ever seen on a red dot. There's zero like hue, like it doesn't look blue or gray or anything. It's a really nice large window, and just overall that looks really nice so far. I'm going to get this mounted here in a minute. Just so YouTube knows, putting a red dot on a pistol does not modify the gun in any way. It doesn't make it do anything other than what it was originally manufactured to do. And I am working with a completely safe firearm here. I am going to mount that red dot to my pistol there, but a lot of guys are mounting them to rifles now. They'll use like a 45-degree offset mount, kind of as like a backup sight. The things, again, only weigh an ounce, so it really doesn't add any weight to your rifle, and it gives you, an extra set of sights on it. And if you wanted to mount it to that Picatinny adapter, you basically are going to put that little shim thing here, put it on here, and then you're going to use the 6-32 9mm to mount this on here, and then this would go on your rifle. So if your gun were milled for an RMR, you're basically just going to set this thing down, and then you're just going to put that on there and then put your screws in. And you can see how low that does sit. But again, mine, I do have to use an adapter plate similar to like the Glock MOS. So yeah, if you had the Glock MOS, you would put this down first, and then you would set your red dot up on top of that. So yeah, my particular pistol, I have to put this plate here like that, and then I'm going to use that little shim thing that they provided and put that down, and then this is going to sit on top of that, and then I'll get the screws in. And just so you know, the screws do come with blue Loctite on them already, and it's recommended to torque them down somewhere between 12 to 15 inch-pounds. And this is what it looks like installed on my pistol here. Again, I had to put my adapter plate and then that little shim and then that. So it does stick up just higher than my sights. These sights are a little bit lower than what you'll find on some guns though. Alright guys, out at the range this morning with that CVLIFE Red Dot. I'm going to get it zeroed in and then probably put 50 to 100 rounds through it. Make sure it holds zero. Make sure the dot doesn't flicker or shut off or anything. And so I'm happy to report I didn't have any issues at all at the range. The dot was easy to zero in. It held zero, did not flicker at all, did not shut off at all. I will say that zeroing it in was a bit of a guessing game. The windage and elevation, you don't get your normal clicks that you do with some others. Instead, when you put this in, it will literally just spin. So you just kind of have to spin it a little bit and then take a few more shots, and then maybe spin it a little bit more and take a few more shots. So overall, I'm actually really impressed with this little red dot, especially when you consider the price is under $60 and it's available on Amazon. It seems to be really well built. It has this really thick kind of shroud up here to protect that glass. And the glass is super, super clear. That's actually some of the clearest glass that I've ever seen on any red dots that I've tested here. They include multiple mounting options. Again, just RMR. You can do Picatinny, the Glock MOS plate, and all that's included. You know, it has that motion awake or shake awake technology. I've had this probably 3 weeks or so, and I bet that I've tested that 75 to 100 times. I basically just leave this laying. I'll walk by, I'll look through, see that it's off, and then as soon as I pick it up, it's back on immediately. With that large window and that 3 MOA dot, it is really easy to find. It has a decent waterproof rating and a really good recoil rating. A few things to consider if you're interested in purchasing this. First thing is that the battery does sit under the optic. So maybe once a year or whatever, you do have to remove the optic, and you will have to re-zero it probably at that point. To my knowledge, this is only available with the red dot. There isn't a green available. And I know some guys prefer green. Also, that dot is the only reticle option. You don't have like the circle dot or crosshairs or anything like that, just the dot. Another thing is I know some people do like to have like a rear cutout or a rear notch back here. So you cannot co-witness with like low factory height sights. If they were suppressor height, probably no problem at all. And in case you're interested, the rear deck height is right about 0.35 inches. So that way you would know what your rear sights kind of have to be able to co-witness. And finally, the last thing I'll mention is that it does only come with a 1-year warranty. But again, if you're looking for a very budget-friendly dot to maybe put on a range gun, maybe an airsoft rifle, maybe a backup pistol in your safe, this is probably a pretty good choice. But if you guys are interested in learning more about it or picking one up, I will leave that Amazon link down in the video description. If CVLIFE provides me any type of discount code, I'll put that down in the description as well. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.